So this is a video I actually wanted to make for a while now, so I'm going to jump straight into it. Here's some things I wish I knew back in university. So number one immediately is that I wish that in summer of grade 12, I started working on unique projects. So as normal, I started off with a to-do list, learning a new language in Dart and Flutter, and then I went on to building out almost like a shoe app or like an e-commerce site. That's basically a very basic form of project that you could build out. It wasn't even that unique. The only unique aspect of this form was that I would actually compare different prices from different websites like the Code app, Nike, etc. That's the only unique part, and that's the only thing that actually landed me interviews. But I wish I created more unique projects that were specialized and more geared towards my own problems that I could solve using code. And I wish that I actually deployed it so that others can also see. Nobody wants a project that's just on your local host or that they have to go to a GitHub repo to see the code you actually wrote. Stop creating these basic projects. No more to do, no more e-commerce, no more weather app. If you're getting into a language originally and you're trying to build the base foundation, sure, you can create these, but do not post these on your resumes because everyone has a to-do list, everyone has a weather app, everyone has e-commerce. These projects don't distinguish you anymore. Also, with the power of AI, they can literally one-shot all these projects easily, so this is not impressive. Figure out a problem that you're facing in your real life and try to solve it using code. If to create content, I would have to post on 3 different platforms, so TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reels. So what I did is that I got all the APIs except for TikTok, so I did Twitter, YouTube, and Reels. I got the APIs for those, and I made it so that I fill out one form, upload the video, post at a certain time, and it uploads it for me. And that's how I uploaded across those 3 platforms. TikTok was the only one I was unable to get the API for. Number 2 is that I wish I started leetcoding year 1 of university. So as soon as I went to university, I wish I already knew about LeetCode. I wish I knew that all the assessments, etc. will most likely either be in LeetCode or they'll have some sort of front end or back end aspect to it, but most likely most of your assessments that you receive are LeetCode or HackerRank. So now to go along with that point of LeetCode is that I wish I actually learned the LeetCode patterns. So 2 pointers. When you're learning linked lists, learning the circular pattern, slow fast pointer, etc. Just learning the different patterns of the problem and not actually memorizing the problem, because that's exactly what I would do. Is that I would think that I'm actually understanding the problem, but in reality I'm just memorizing the pattern or memorizing the problem itself. But the minute I encountered a slight variation of this problem using the same pattern, I was unable to solve. So that's why I knew that I was memorizing the problem and I actually didn't actually understand the pattern itself. So that's something that I wish I knew as well. So number 3, I wish I actually attended hackathon. When I went to school at Ontario Tech University, they didn't have any hackathons currently that were going on. Literally the following year that I graduated, that's when we actually got sponsorships from Microsoft and other companies for our hackathons. But I wish that I went to other hackathons. There was Hack the North, for example. That's a very popular and a very good hackathon that you guys should attend. If you guys are in university, that's the first one they should try to get into, in all honesty. And just other hackathons that are outside of school. There were so many that my friends had recommended that I could have went, but I didn't. That's something that I kind of regret because one, I missed out on building unique projects in a short amount of time, learning so much in those short amount of time, and also just connecting with others while at the hackathon, right? Try to build out that project and deploy it. Make sure that others can actually interact with your website or whatever that you built out for the hackathon. One of the biggest reasons to go to university/college is the internship opportunities that you have versus someone who is self-taught. So please take advantage of this. If you're going to university or college for comp sci and you're not trying your best or your hardest to land internships, your degree is practically useless, in all honesty. The whole point is so that you expose yourself to these opportunities that these companies are offering for interns, okay? So please remember when internship hiring sprees start to happen. I totally forgot. I know there's a fall one. Sometimes there's one around like April, I believe, for the summer, or they open up already by January. I'm not too sure. I totally forgot, I'm not gonna lie. But research that. Make sure you know when the hiring sprees begin and make sure you're prepared before that. So do your LeetCode, have your resume ready, and then go ahead and spam apply, essentially, or get referrals, however you choose to land this internship. But my point is, make sure you are ready prior to the hiring spree. Next up, my next tip for internships is that you don't always have to go for a FANG company, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, etc. You can go for mid to small size companies or even startups as well. Startups are great for when you're trying to build your experience because you're able to work full stack, front end, back end, cloud ops maybe. I did all of that on my first internship, so I'm grateful for all the experience that I had being able to work back end and front end. I did do a bit of AWS as well. One of the biggest hiring sprees is usually during the summer, and that's because that's when students are off. Now, that's probably when it's the most competitive. So if you are able to take a co-op term or a internship term within September to December or September to April or December to April, whatever the case may be within those interval there, try your best to apply as well. Always constantly apply, because if there's probably less competition within those intervals than in the summer, because in the summer everyone's off and everyone will choose to, okay, I have to get an internship this summer, I want to get a job this summer, versus someone who will be applying during the school year for September to December or whatever the interval case may be. So that's just another tip that could help increase the probability of you getting an internship. Another thing that I wish I did more of in university was using LinkedIn and trying to network a whole lot more. I felt that as if I was only networking at the time when I needed to, when I should have been doing it since, honestly, from year one. Reaching out to people, asking them for advice, maybe asking them advice for a specific problem. I feel like when you ask general advice, people tend to ignore you. If you ask something very specific to that person and that's in their domain, they're more likely to answer because it's not a vague question. How do I get better as a software engineer? I feel like when you're asking the very vague advice of how do I get better, it tends to be ignored. So try to ask a specific problem that you're dealing with, as well as realize who you're speaking to as well. If they're a back-end developer, you're not going to be asking them a front-end related question, right? So have a very specific problem in mind and then go ahead and ask your advice towards that person. Another thing that I wish I did more of at university is create content around the things that I was learning. Yes, I did create YouTube videos around my projects, but I wish I did more of it so that I could share my knowledge with others and actually try to understand what I was actually doing within the code instead of just trying to cut out the project and record it. And I feel like if I was making content on other social media platforms, that would also help, as now I feel that, in my opinion, I feel like you have to have some sort of social presence that could make you unique from someone who same as you applying. I feel like that would actually add to your resume if you were able to reach a certain amount of viewers or provide so much educational content, etc. That's just my opinion. I feel like that could make you stand out potentially, but that could also open other doors for you as well. Another tip is get a MacBook. For coding specifically, get a MacBook, because when you're setting up environments, setting up paths, that kind of stuff, all that stuff is so annoying on Windows. I can simply use brew and do it in one command on a MacBook to set all that up. In my opinion, Mac is way better than Windows for coding and for daily use. The only time you'd want a Windows is if you wanted to game, and that's the only reason. Another tip is go to your prof's office hours. Some profs may be able to connect you with others. Maybe they worked at a past company, maybe they have some sort of research or opportunity, maybe you could work with the school along with them with this project. These are all opportunities that you would be missing out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this short quick video. I want to get straight to the point and just list out everything just so you guys can understand some of the things that I wish I did back in uni. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and take care.